So, lads, today we're going to be talking a little bit about Sophie Cunningham and the Indiana Fever. So, obviously, lads, I'm back home. It's been a while. And it took an entire trip for me to figure out how to fix one of my key lights. So, yeah, basically, that is what we've got. We're going to be talking about Sophie Cunningham here, about the WNBA and the Indiana Fever. And I'm going to be talking more in another video about this because I think that this is a big one. I think this is a big thing to talk about. I want to talk about this more as like an entire topic as a whole because there's a few things we've noticed. There's a few things that I've noticed. Like I've noticed, obviously, the whole Black Forces, Caitlin after winning the Commissioner's Cup, all of this. And I think this is an entire team mentality. And I think this is something that Steph White is absolutely, pushing in on these players. Because last year, it seemed like it was a lot of like Christy Sides apologizing for the players, and whereas you see the Indiana Fever, whereas it's Steph White being combative, which is something that I do like. But anyway, let's take a listen to what Sophie Cunningham has said about the Indiana Fever, about WNBA and the Fever.
The league is so mad that we won because we're literally not supposed to be here at all. And that just like kind of fuels our fire even more. But it was just like...
The league is not happy that we won. We're not supposed to be here. Like, that is a crazy statement to make from a player, but it's true. But it's absolutely true. Like, the league very clearly does not want the Indiana Fever to be winning. And you know what? Maybe that is some absolute, like, nonsense. Maybe that's just some bullshit that, the fans have made up and the players have gotten into their own heads. But yeah, that gives you extra powers. That gives you +5 to every stat. Prove others wrong. And this Indiana Fever team does not have nearly enough talent to be where they are. No offense to these players. The fit, like on paper, this team shouldn't fit. This team's not that good. But it's the power of friendship. And it's the power of pettiness. It's all of this shit, like... And it's working out perfectly. It's working out perfectly for them. It's working out absolutely perfectly for them. And for me, I think that it's and this is absolutely something that is, that's important. I think it's important that they have this attitude that, the league freaking hates them.
So fun. It was one of those games that, first of all, I was sweating my ass off because I was so nervous and like, I don't really get anxious about stuff. I was so anxious. Like I could not sit still. I felt like I played with how much I was sweating. And so the league is so mad that we won because...
So obviously, yeah, like, and that's one of the big things where it's like the league, her saying that she was anxious for the game is like, it's funny when people are like, oh, my favorite thing about some of the fans are, like, I find one of my favorite things is the fans that are like the anti-Caitlin fans that are now celebrating the Fever because they're like, oh, if the Fever lose, we lose, but if they win, they've just won without Caitlin Clark, so we can celebrate. And it's like, no. Like, we all know the Fever aren't winning a championship without Caitlin Clark. Like, we all know that. Sorry about that noise. We all know that the Indiana Fever are not winning a championship. But at the end of the day, if they come somewhat close to winning a championship and then suddenly Caitlin Clark's back, can you imagine how fucking good this team's going to be with Caitlin Clark, Sophie back, and whoever they bring in a free agency to lock down that power forward position? Because Natasha Howard, as good as Natasha Howard has been at times, Natasha Howard is absolutely not... she's not a starting level power forward for a championship team, and I think everyone can admit that in these scenarios. But at the end of the day, like, the league... Like, I don't believe that. Nobody is mad they won except for those CC fans who don't want them succeeding. What are we talking about, man? What are we talking about? That's such a small percentage of fans. The percentage of fans that are happy the Fever have lost. It's very different, like, predicting the Fever to lose. Because, look, I have predicted the Fever to lose. There's a difference between you can be a fan and predict your team to lose. Like, I'm a Leeds United fan. I predict us to lose almost every fucking game. But that doesn't mean I want to see us lose. It doesn't mean I lose my mind, like... when we win, like, I genuinely, my biggest My favorite moment ever being at a football match was Leeds versus Chelsea. 3-0 win to Leeds. But I got tickets to that game, and like the person that I went with, I was like, oh, I don't know. Like we're gonna lose. We're gonna lose, but it'll be good to see. We're gonna lose anyway. But no, we fucking won. And that's the thing where it's like you're allowed to predict a team lose. But also, if you want your team to lose because a player is not there, like that's just kind of weird. At the end of the day, that means you're a fan of the player. Like I don't think it's a lot less weird in it's a lot less weird in American sports because it's a lot more about the individual than it is about the team. Like my favorite player was Rafinha, and when Leeds saw Rafinha, it's not like I didn't become a Leeds fan. I stopped being a Leeds fan. But yeah, it is just an interesting one, and I think that genuinely most people around the league, I still think these weird Twitter accounts that just write think pieces are way too close to are way too close to these players and teams than we would like to think. Like that's one of the things that I always say about things on social media is like the social media seems to be what the league is ran on, whereas it shouldn't be. Like, I actually have no issue with the social media. It's just the fact that the league's ran on it. Like, I mean this when I say this. If the Indiana Fever were making decisions based on videos from myself and other YouTubers, I'd be very concerned about the Indiana Fever. Like, I'd be very concerned, but I don't think they are, and I hope they're not. Even if they make wrong decisions and we're right, I hope they're not, because at the end of the day, they're going to pay millions. They should be right more often than us. The league should be happy they won. If upsets never happen, sports get boring, and people stop watching. Yeah, the top 4 seeds all swept last year. But it's not about sports. Was the league really ticked off about the Liberty losing, but it's not the end of the world? It's sports. It's sports. They don't want the underdogs to win. They don't want the underdog story. You could write a fucking movie about the Indiana Fever season this year, and the WNBA could make a shitload of money on this season. They could make a shitload of money on this season for the team. Heck, if they had a documentary crew in, that would make so much money. It would be unbelievable. But no, the league does not want the Indiana Fever winning, whether it be with Caitlin or whether it be without Caitlin. Why? Because let's look at who's on the Indiana Fever team. Aaliyah Boston, yes, she went to South Carolina, but she has been kind of like almost estranged from the South Carolina faithful. Albeit Staley still is a fan of her. But a lot of South Carolina, she's not Alicia Gray, she's not Aja Wilson, she's not South Carolina. South Carolina people have turned on her since she's gone to the Fever. Because their hatred for Caitlin Clark is greater than their love for South Carolina players. When it comes to Kelsey Mitchell, she went to Ohio State. She didn't go to UConn or any of these colleges. Sophie Cunningham, they can't stand her. Lexi Hull went to Stanford. No one dislikes Lexi Hull. No one can dislike Lexi Hull. Sid Colson was meant to be one of them, and then she joined the Fever, and they hate Sid Colson now. Like they've turned on it. The WNBA the old WNBA Twitter crew have turned on the Fever, and the problem is that I genuinely think the old WNBA Twitter crew have actual impact on how this league is ran for some reason or the other. But anyway, I'll see you guys.